Another one of these statistics that we don't want to hear about the country, has us in the highest or upper echelons of European leagues. Ireland has the 4th highest female breast cancer rate in Europe, with more than 1,700 new cases of breast cancer being diagnosed in the country each year.
October, of course, marks Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and as part of that campaign we are hoping to raise awareness of this issue that affects families the length and breadth of the country. We are joined this morning by Dr Bernadette Carr, Medical Director with BHI Healthcare, and Pauline Conway, who beat breast cancer 11 years ago. Ladies, good morning. You're both very welcome to the show. Pauline, I'm going to come to you first, because we do hear these stats and these figures churned out all the time, but you're the real face of someone who went through this. Can you tell us your story? Can we go back to when you were first diagnosed?
Yes. Well, I was diagnosed in 1999, just in October this month, and I went to my GP after finding a lump. Now, previous to that, earlier, I had, often down the years, I had found lumps, but they were all okay, so I didn't really think too much about it. But he's decided to send me to the consultant, and after the consultant then brought me in a few days after that for a biopsy, and it was discovered that I had cancer. So he said it was best to get rid of the whole lot, really, and have a mastectomy.
I can see it's really emotional for you even now, Pauline. I'm sorry, I hate asking you to tell the story.
Okay. It's okay.
But just your reaction to it is a testament to how devastating it is to receive that news.
It is. It's really a life-changing experience, really, you know. It's an awful shock. But you get through it with the help of family and friends, and, you know.
And what's remarkable about your story, A, that you beat breast cancer and you sit here as a survivor amongst us, but also that you were inspired to set up a company because of your experiences. Tell us a bit about that.
I was, because afterwards I found it very difficult to get nice lingerie. It was absolutely impossible, really, in Ireland to find anything like that.
If you'd had a mastectomy.
If you'd had a mastectomy, that's right. So I sort of investigated anyway and found that there were a number of companies on the continent, you know, German companies mostly, that, you know, had very nice collections and that. So I decided to give it a try. So I started in 2004. It took me nearly 5 years to get the courage to start, but I started anyway from scratch, and I brought the breast care nurses out from the regional hospital, invited them out to see what I was doing and to get their advice. And I contacted Action Breast Cancer as well, because they had brought out a leaflet of standards of care for people who had breast cancer. So I sort of wanted to do it properly, you know. I felt that it didn't need a shop on the high street as such, so I do it from home beside the house. So it's by appointment only, and we can give as much time as the person needs, you know, to get sorted, to make sure that they're happy when they leave.
Of sympathetic ear as
yes,
well.
That's right, yeah. We have an understanding with them, I suppose.
I'd
that
say
helps
you've had
as
some
well.
Emotional scenes in there.
Yes, indeed, yeah. I have, yeah, because you hear everybody's life story. They all want to tell you what happened to them, so you have to.
Can I ask you a practical question, Pauline, about
yes.
that? Given that it's specialist, is it expensive?
It's a little bit, but not really. No, not. It's on par with, I suppose, the designer stuff in.
Oh, okay.
Pauline, to your credit, you haven't mentioned the name of your company once.
Oh, yeah.
Give yourself a plug.
My company's name is Bravelle.
Bravelle, okay.
Yes, and we're operated from Ballinity in County Limerick.
And it's swimwear and lingerie.
Swimwear, lingerie, and breast prosthesis.
Okay.
Bernadette, sorry, can I talk to Dr. Carr now? I want to talk a little bit about the science bit of it. Actually, I think I need to correct myself, because I said at the top in the intro that there's 1,700 women diagnosed with breast cancer. Sadly, it's much higher than that. It's 2,700, and my apologies for that. It's the 4th highest in 30 EU countries surveyed. So I have 2 questions for you. First and foremost, why are we that high? And do we have something in common with the other 3 countries at the top of that league? Is there something about our lifestyle, about the way we do things, that places us at the top of that league?
Well, as you said, we're 4th in Europe in terms of the number of women who present with breast cancer. And we're also actually 4th in Europe, which is not a great statistic in terms of mortality. But this, despite that, it's a positive story, and I think Pauline represents that, because things are getting better. And things are getting better for a number of reasons, because, you know, there's been a lot of effort has gone into looking after breast cancer. And one of the key reasons is treatment has got much better. And in terms of people listening out there, I think great thing about this campaign and this sponsorship, and VHI sponsoring this breast cancer awareness, is that it's about making this less scary, because cancer, I think for everybody, in particularly breast cancer, is such an emotive subject. And I think listening to someone who has had breast cancer, the key thing I always get is how traumatic this was and what a horrendous piece of news it was. But I think there is the other side of it. 80% of women who present with breast cancer, in 5 years' time, they're alive and well, which is a fantastic story. And that's significantly better than it actually used to be.
Can I bring you back to that figure of fourth in Europe? I mean, that could be interpreted as the fact that we have the fourth highest in terms of presenting with it, that awareness is very high, and that would be a positive thing, obviously. But it could also be because we have a higher incidence in this country, which would not be a good thing. So which is it?
I think it's both, actually, because some of the countries where the figures are lower are countries who haven't got a screening programme. And when you put in place a screening programme, which we've had now for a number of years, the number of women presenting in the early stages goes up. So that means the overall numbers appear higher. But, initially you think, is that a good thing? You've more women presenting. But it is, because it means more women are being picked up at an early stage, which is what this campaign is about. Early detection, which means early treatment.
Breast awareness, actually. I mean, what do women need to look for? Because we are all aware that October is all about breast cancer, raising awareness, but whether that translates into people going home and checking themselves is another matter. So what do we need to be aware of?
Okay, I think that's really important, because sometimes this can be a sort of, there's people talking about breast cancer on the TV. What does it mean for me? How is this going to improve my life? And that is about individual women, first of all, realising this isn't as scary as maybe they thought it was, that even if something turns up, something can be done about it, and then it comes down. And in fact, most breast cancers are actually picked up by women themselves, finding a lump, as Pauline described, and going along to their GP.
So it's vital then that those women know what is normal for them.
Yeah, they must know what's normal for them, because each woman is different, and each woman's breasts are different. So, you start off and you decide.
So only they will know if there's a change.
Only they will know. What do your breasts normally look like? What do they normally feel like? And then examine them on a regular basis, every month, or, put a time when you decide you're going to do this on a regular basis.
Changes that you've recommended that people look out for.
You look for changes in appearance. You look for changes in the feel, because obviously you're looking for any small sort of lump or irregularity, and then and anything at all. Initially, you're not going to be familiar, most women are not going to be familiar with their own breast, but when they get used to examining themselves, then they'll notice a change. And the key thing is they go along to their general practitioner if they're worried about something. Don't keep it to yourself and stay at home and get really stressed about it. Go and talk to your GP. GPs are great in terms of determining what's a problem, what's not going to be a problem, and if necessary, then referring patients on, like
far
Pauline.
better to be overly cautious in this instance than to be, laissez-faire.
Don't worry at home. There's loads of services. There's lots that can be done, even if it turns out that it is breast cancer.
Pauline, just to come back to you, there will be women sitting at home now who have just been diagnosed or are fearful that they may have breast cancer.
Yes.
It's an incredibly tough time to go through, as we can even see through your painful memories of it 11 years ago. What would you say to those women?
Well, I'd say don't worry about it. The services out there are very, very good nowadays, even better than when I had it 10 or 12 years ago. And, your family and friends, you sort of go from one stage to the other, and you get carried along, and before you know it, you're out through the other end. And don't dwell on it, don't think too much in the past. That's why it was kind of difficult for me even to recall the detail and the whole lot. I've put a past behind me now, and I look forward to the future.
I'm so glad
that's
that you said that, because you've created a great future for yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Bravelle.
And
yes.
Is there a website?
There's a website, www.BravellShop.com.
That's BRAVELLE. 2 L's.
ELLESHOP.
Okay.
And VHI are obviously sponsoring breast cancer awareness on TV3, so people will be aware of that across the station.
If I could just mention our Send a Ribbon campaign. If you log on, every time you log on and you onto sendaribbon.ie, VHI makes a contribution towards research for the Irish Cancer Foundation, so it's a good thing to do.
Fabulous. Ladies, thank you both very much.
Thank you very much.